Most realtors think that Zillow is their best source for leads until they take a true look at their multi-touch attribution. So briefly, multi-touch attribution, or MTA, is every step that a user takes before they make a purchase. So what happens is when you get your lead from Zillow, normally you or your broker feel that this lead came from Zillow, and Zillow is what gets the credit for that lead. But what happens is if you start to look a little closer and you look at your analytics, you can potentially see that that's not the truth. Some leads, as they come to you, can hit 4 to 5 different touch points before they get to your inbox. So let's say you run a Facebook ad that says top 10 homes under $500,000. Okay, so first of all, if you're not running ads and posts like this, you definitely need to be doing that. We could talk about that at another time. So when this user sees this ad, that's their first touch point, okay? So 3 days later, they come across one of your blog posts that you created talking about, let's say, top 5 neighborhoods in Atlanta, okay? So there are 3 different reasons why they could have made it to this blog post. The number one reason is probably retargeting. If they saw your ad, then what Facebook will do is bring them back to your next step within your digital marketing flow, which should be your blog post. And again, if you're not setting it up this way, we need to have a conversation, because that is something that you should be doing. So now them reaching this blog post, this is the second touch point, okay? Now, after they read your blog post, then they come back to either your website or your Instagram account. They click a link which takes them to your campaign page. Now, on this campaign page, there should be a form there for them to fill out, and they're probably receiving something for free. More than likely, it's something like a first-time home buyer guide or something like that. Anything to give them for free that allows you to get them to fill out the form, and it allows you to get their name, their telephone number, and their email address. So now this is touch point number 4. So touch point number 5, now that you have their email address, you're going to add them to your email marketing campaigns. Normally what you're doing here, instead of being salesy in your emails, what you're trying to do is educate them maybe once or twice a week on anything dealing with the real estate market. So that can be mortgages, that can be homes, that can be inspections, neighborhoods, how to choose a home, how to buy foreclosures, just a number of things that you can educate them on at least once or twice a week. Now, finally, after they've seen 3 or 4 of your emails, more than likely they'll go back to your website, which will probably lead them to Zillow at this point. And this is where they go to Zillow and then eventually come back to you again, ready to buy. Now, in a normal situation, Zillow will charge you for that lead, and they will try to take credit for you receiving that lead. But what really happened and what you didn't see was all the touch points along the way. So what you have is your initial Facebook ad, you have your blog post, you have your lead magnet on your campaign page, you have your email marketing campaign, and then finally this has led them to a site or a page where they are really ready to buy at this point. If you're not tracking this on a regular basis, then you're missing out on your analytics. You're throwing your numbers off, and you're probably wasting a lot of money on ad spend. I know a lot of realtors, and I have a lot of friends and colleagues and clients who are realtors, and a lot of them do use CRM systems, but they're not tracking their analytics. That initial touch point from Facebook, the touch point from your website and your blog post, the touch point from your email marketing campaign, and even if they went to other potential organic posts, let's say on Instagram or LinkedIn, you need to be able to track this potential customer through this entire journey. And if you're not plugged into GA4, to Google Search Console and some other tools, you're going to miss out on tracking these customers, these potential buyers efficiently. So let's say here's another scenario, okay? You have a buyer, they see your listing video on Instagram. From there, they have received your email newsletter already, and they visit your website 2 or 3 times, right? So you're able to track them doing that. Then they finally fill out the form that either leads back to Zillow or should be leading back to your CRM, which is another conversation that we need to have. You need to be tracking your own clients. You need to be talking to your clients directly, staying in contact with them directly. You should have your own CRM system. I know that your broker gives you a CRM to use, but if you leave, those are not your leads. But I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole now. That's something we'll talk about at another time. Okay. But in this situation, once that lead gets to Zillow and Zillow sends it to you, they're going to try to take 100% credit for that lead, and they're going to charge you for that lead. And so this is where most realtors are missing out. They're paying for the leads from Zillow. They're thinking that Zillow is bringing them this lead, but they're missing all the other touch points that came along with receiving this lead. And a lot of realtors are just taking that, paying for it, and just continuing on their journey. They're not realizing that this potential customer has had 4 or 5 other touch points with you before they got to Zillow. Okay, so this is extremely important. Vanity analytics is not the only thing that's important. Vanity analytics include likes, follows, reposts, things of that nature. That's fine, but what's most important in all of these situations is who's sitting down at the table for closing. And you have to track all of your clients, all of your potential clients, and track their journey in order for you to see what's working and what's not working. But the most important part is you have to track your analytics. So if this is something that you're interested in, just drop the word attribution down below and let's have a conversation.